Welcome back to another late night of the Yamo Podcast. So today we're trying to do part three of five of our favorite book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. And so today's reflection title, I would hand over to Chris to give you what that is.
Yeah. So today's reflection title is Sharpen the Saw. Daily renewal plus balance equals sustainability for me personally. And I'll explain here. I think it'd be fair to say that before Amelia ever came into my life, I lived an unbalanced life. I would regularly push myself to the extremes in almost every area of my life. I'd work my butt off while I was at the office. I'd make mistakes. I'd get sick and then unravel emotionally, even vacation to the extreme where we would take 2 weeks to unplug and we'd go to Europe and visit 4 countries in 2 weeks, just completely like go balls to the wall. And it was fun, but by the time we got back, we'd be exhausted. When I would work out, I would go to work out with my trainer 2 times a week and do like one workout myself. And I would just push myself to the extreme and I'd be in pain like all the time. That was how I lived my life. I would do a lot of things consistently in spurts and do it really intensely. And then that was what I was taught. I mean, this is literally the framework that I was given to be we talk about this all the time, like if you want continual progress and live with a growth mindset, like that we were taught, fall in love with the process, work hard, grit, persistence, do the things you hate the most first, no pain, no gain, all those things that we talk about, right? Like that's the path to success, at least in the cultures that I've grown up in and been taught since day one in my life, whether it be athletics, whether it be in the software and technology world where I work. I mean, like that's just life, that all changed for me personally the day that Amelia was born. Everything went out the window. Daughter arrives at 22 weeks old and she's fighting for life every day in the NICU. I didn't give a damn about anything other than I need to be here and show up for her every single day to be absolutely my best self. I had just read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People the month before Amelia was born. The 7th habit is about sharpening the saw and making sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're making sure that you're physically able to show up every single day. And for me personally, that was all that I could think about the day that, that we were, after all the kind of the haze of her being born early and surviving and all of this just chaos kind of cleared. I was like, I have to be here by her side as much as I possibly can. I need to also take care of myself because, COVID was going on. That was like right at the start of COVID. We were going back and forth in the hospital every single day. We were, terrified that something was going to happen. So it was all about Amelia at that point in time. And I knew for me to be able to focus on that, I had to take care of myself. So that was where really these daily habits started for me. It was, kind of out of necessity of sharpening the saw every single day so that was when I set out my mind set out to try to read every day, like for at least 30 minutes a day, write it in a journal for Amelia to document her time in the NICU and our experience together. And then try to get some exercise in to make sure that I could physically stay healthy and mentally there, focus on with her when I was present with her. So kept doing that obviously all through her time in the NICU. And it was, I don't know, I guess habits were being formed at that point in time, but really it was because I was trying to just make sure that I showed up for my daughter. After she passed away, it took on a whole other meaning. At that point in time, I did it just to keep myself moving because of to honor the promise that I promised to Amelia and what she, showed me of how to endure. And I was like, look, I have to take care of myself. This is what Amelia would want me to do. And so every single day with her spirit and energy and her courage and strength that she showed me, like that was what motivated me to get up every single day and to keep trying to sharpen the saw and keep focusing on myself and focusing on making sure that I could show up for my wife and show up for my family and show up for everybody else. So, when we were going through a really tough time. And then eventually that all turned into me and Amelia helping to find my purpose, I guess, in life and understanding what I was doing and living for 2 and really understanding my values and kicking off this whole entire journey that we've been on for the past couple of years now. The book and Your Magical Learning and Covey and whatever else comes out of this, it's a completely different life, but it all kind of really started with making sure I was sharpening the saw, taking care of myself and making sure that I was able to be the best person that I can be to show up for, things that matter most to me, my daughter, my values, like this stuff that we're doing, like that was what sharpening the saw meant to me. And it really kind of changed my life in a lot of ways. Like, in the past, I feel like I was always just, I don't want to say treading water. It was like a very slow incremental, it just, sometimes you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. When you push things to the extremes, your body just breaks down eventually. Your mind breaks down. You might gain a little bit, but then you come right back down. You might gain a little bit, then you come right back down. It's like a never ending up and down kind of saga when you're doing that. But when you really put focus on sharpening the saw daily and putting first things first. And, it is life changing. It now feels like it's on a upward spiral trajectory versus just that up, down roller coaster kind of thing. And it feels better. I mean, to be honest with you. So yeah, that was the thought, I guess, and reflection for the day of, if you focus on daily renewal and balance, you get sustainability. It's something that you can do for forever, and it's something that feels good and you can tie it to your values and you keep yourself going. So I'll pause there. Love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, so I want to reference what I said yesterday. I think, the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, these principles are not very difficult to understand. It's very straightforward. It's just saying, take care of yourself before you can do good things.
Right.
It's as simple as that. But for some reason, it's so difficult to put into practice. Society today, it's what you're describing is you go to the extremes. Is you work really hard, and then they say work hard, play hard, rise, grind, and repeat, embrace the suck, do the thing you hate the first. I mean, where did these come from?
Eat the frog.
Eat the frog, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, where do these terms come from?
People think that life must be just a never-ending.
It has to be a struggle. I mean, it's like do the thing you hate the most. And the thing is, no one asks why.
Right.
Why do I have to do the thing I hate the most? Can I do it?
Right.
And for me, it's so hard, but it's so straightforward. The concept of sharpening is basically working smarter and not harder. If you have 6 hours to chop down the trees, you spend the 4 hours sharpening the saw, and then 2 hours to saw off the tree. Right. Or you can, huffing and puffing, trying to pull and push the rusty saw that won't cut a damn tree. And you think about that, right? So this is what most of the people are doing, not just the United States, but everybody around the world.
Yeah.
This is what they're doing. I mean, it's even worse in Japan and worse in Asia. I told you about the 996 rule, right?
Yeah.
From 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. That's
insane.
And people say, people in America, we overworked, right? And so it's part of it, but at the same time, the book is telling you work smarter, not harder. That's what the principle means to me,
right?
Is to take care of yourself if you want to do any good. And for you, Chris, I think you had been forced to do it because I mean, when you
would have done
grown into the NICU, to me, the NICU is like a crucible. It is the most intense. I wouldn't wish that on anyone to be in a NICU, to experience the thing in a NICU experience. I mean, the NICU is by its sheer meaning, it's very heartbroken, right?
Right.
It's not only intensive care.
It's a baby.
It's new infant. It's a baby intensive care. Neonatal, right? It's not just intensive care, right? This is even beyond ICU. This is NICU, right? In ICU, right? So you're talking about the most heartbroken things possible. Most people would not be able to last. You can physically, you are going exhausted mentally and physically and spiritually. I mean, you are broken down. And so in that scenario, the only thing you can do is you have to sharpen the saw. You cannot do it without. And a lot of people like, if we give you 6 hours to chop down a bunch of trees, and you can, force your way through it and exhaust yourself and still cut down some trees, sure. But that's a task that is, you could get by. But in the extremities, you will fail. You have to go back to I can't work hard. It's just not possible. It just won't work. I have to work smarter. So the NICU experience forces you to think about, okay, that's not the route that I can take. It's not possible for me, right?
Yeah.
In real life, a lot of people, because they could, embrace the suck, eat the frog and all that, and they continue to do it. And over time, they embraces it and they pass it down. It passes it down from from one person to the next. I mean, it's like, oh, you should do this, or you be a man,
Right.
suck it up. It's like, why? Why do I have to suck it? Why do I have to suck it up?
More. I mean, it's really sad. I mean,
Why
it's
do I have to rise,
the-
grind, and repeat? Why can't I just work 4 hours like Tim Ferriss suggested it, right?
Well, I don't know. I've never actually read that book, which I don't know why. I have a weird sneaking suspicion I'm going to get really upset when I read that book, because I feel like this is my perception. I feel like it's making it too easy. Like, that's 4-hour work week, but I don't really know the
But the
message.
concept's still there. The concept is to work smarter, not harder, because the book is telling you to leverage other people's work. Here's the lesson from the book. If you are worth $100, right, an hour, why are you doing a job that is $10 an hour or $20 an hour? If you cut the grass, if it's $35 for somebody to cut it for 15 minutes or even an hour, and it takes you all day long to do it, why are you doing it? That's the point. You're good at certain things, right? You do what you do. That is the most important. If you're a salesperson, you sell and you make that money, and everything else, like, oh, I suck at cooking. Don't cook because you suck at it. And so it basically optimize that leverage. So back to my point, the concept in these books are straightforward. It's not complex to understand. It's very simple and out there. It's, hey, work harder or you work smarter. It's up to you. I mean, which one of you choose? Everybody say, yeah, I understand. We shouldn't work harder. We should work smarter, but no one does. That's the thing. Is
the cultures that we're a part of don't champion that. I mean, that's one of the things that we want to do in Covey is to say, like, look, there, the first, A, we're going to hire you, not give you any job or give you any role. Like, B, like the first 3 hours of the day, it's about sharpening the saw or putting first things first. Focus on yourself, like do the things that you need to do, your meaningful work. Like, I've noticed that I get more things done, way more things done in the course of a day than I've ever done in my entire life. I do it because I love to do this stuff. But even now, it's like, so when my body is right, my mind's right, when I feel balanced, when I feel that I can tackle the day and tackle my emotions when they come up, like, I feel like I can do anything really for the most part. When I don't feel that way, I feel like everything is like climbing a mountain with like, a grizzly bear hanging off your shoulders at the same time of, I mean, it just gets overwhelming. It gets to the point in time where it just breaks you down, breaks your body down, breaks your mind down, makes you sick, makes you tired. Yeah. You can either, like you said, take the time to make sure that you're taken care of and not break down and enjoy life a little bit more, or you can not do that and every 6 months do a 75 hard where you put your body and mind to the test, and then you come out of it and you're like, oh, thank God I can start to eat everything and stop working out because I did my 75 hard, like it's
but the thing is, in real life, it's not like math. You don't do, hey, I do 50 this, 50 that, and balance. It doesn't do that because you just do spiraling down and you spiral out of control. Because when you do one extreme, it's going to force you to the other extreme. For example, you go, okay, I'm going to do like really, really hard. Well, the thing is, you run real hard the first time. The second time you run real hard, but the result is less than the first. And the third round is less than the second. The spiraling down is never going to give you, it's not math. You're not a machine. You can't do 100% of this, right? So you're always going to break down, and that's not sustainable because eventually it's going to the point where the effectiveness of whatever you do, it's going to zero. Because eventually, let's say you work really hard and you rest it, right? Let's say you work 1 month and you rest a month. But I guarantee you, next time you work a month, you're going to need more than a month to recover.
Yeah, I mean, if you ran an ultra marathon,
and you work hard another month, right? It takes you even more than the next month to recover to the same place. Because if you recover at 1 month, then you can't produce the same result just because you didn't have the same amount of energy and the amount of mental capacity as before. So either way, it's going to dwindle down to zero, depending on how many cycles you're going through. There's a lot more variables to it in real life than what math is supposed to say. People say, okay, I work hard, I play hard. That's balance. Right. That's not balance. I do one extreme, another extreme. And the average needs to be balanced. It's not that kind of math.
Right.
No, because I guarantee you, it's going to take more the next one. And the next one, and more, eventually.
It's the tortoise and the hare.
Right. And so the thing is, there's another way to do it. And it is unfortunately that society has been conditioned to think this way, and not too many people are calling it out. And I think this is one of the few books that calling it out, And we want to make sure that people
Yeah.
know about this concept about sharpening the saw, taking care of yourself. If you want to do anything more effective, continue to be effective.
Agreed. And here's the thing though, is it's so counterculture to do that at this point in time. Like there needs to be a complete other culture that's almost that exists, that is welcome with open arms to say like, yeah, take care of yourself. Like not just in
work.
work.
You say you're a mom, or why you want mommy time, and stuff like this. Because you're basically forced to, and without the proper educations of what life should be, you embrace this thing without questions. You say a man should suck it up and take whatever shit that's been thrown at you, whatever it is. And that's the thing is, if you go to a workplace today, right, they're gonna say, well, what are you doing to produce result? Why are you reading a book? I need you to go deliver result. I need you. When I say go, I say, these are, I have this forest of tree. Here's a saw, right? Go to my shed, right? And there's a bunch of old shitty rusty tool. I want you to start chopping down some trees and sawing down some trees, right? And then a guy goes in and he takes the saw out and he starts sharpening it. And the boss say, what the hell are you doing? You're wasting time. That's a culture we're in. And so they make you go and chop down the trees with the rusty saw, with the rusty axes, right? And they won't let. I mean, that's a culture, and this culture creates more of these.
It gets even worse than that. True. Here's at the same time that they're doing that, they're also telling you guys, you need to make sure you take time for yourself. You need to make sure that you take vacations, and you go on LinkedIn and everybody's like, like just unplug, like, get away. I spent the past 2 weeks doing blah, like, whatever. That is the message that's actually being given by the expectations of the organization. But the other side of it is they actively go and they give this proactive message of take care of yourself. Like we're going to have, a wellness check-in every single day.
All these things are lip service because most of these companies say, hey, you have unlimited PTO.
Right.
I mean, it's like, okay, well, unlimited PTO, but
take less
only
PTO
if you got nothing to do. Like,
right.
What the hell? I mean, I'm working. When would I have nothing to do? It's like when your manager or your supervisor or management approves of your time. Well, what's the point of an unlimited PTO if you can't control that? You have to request it, and they say, well, we're in the middle of a sprint. The sprint is every 2 weeks.
Right.
So you're always in the middle of a sprint. So unlimited PTO, I'm sorry, I'm gonna call it out. It's bullshit.
No, all these cultures are I think what you're getting to is the heart of these cultures is about making money and growth and profits. Like, and that's fine. Like
if you give me 6 hours to chop down the trees and I spend the last 4 hours to saw, I probably gonna beat you in the result of how many trees I'm gonna cut down.
True. 100%. You are 100% right.
So the thing is, at the bottom line is you talking about making profit.
It's short-sighted profit. Like it's always next quarter, next month, next year, this fiscal year. I mean, there's never a, hey,
you want to go 6 months, okay, to like read books, go meet people, eat, having lunch and all of that. And at the end of 6 months, bring in a freaking well of millions and billions of dollars sales, or you want to have some guy who brings in 50,000, 20,000 every month. Which one do you want? At the end of the day, the guy who's shopping his saw, that's the guy. He's going to find out who should I go and talk to. And I'm talking to everybody. I need to know who. I know what kind of guy, what does he like, right? That guy's going to bring in a well of millions, even billions of dollars for the company because he knows how to sharpen his saw. And that is frowned upon.
Even if I agree with that, like it's really about sustainability. Like I'm not even worried about him bringing in a whale or bringing in singles and doubles.
The point is, if you're talking about making profits, that's my response. In the company case, we're talking about how can we do it so that we can do it indefinitely until we don't want to do it anymore.
That's what I'm getting at. It's the sustainability that comes from sharpening the saw every single day. Like you can't eventually. It doesn't matter if you hit these highs and really low lows. Like the outcome is irrelevant, right? The outcome is, can you exist as yourself and do the things that you care about the most, put first things first every single day, produce meaningful work that matters to you. To do that and to be sustainable every single day, you have to sharpen the saw. It's really more about a long-term impact. It's about what are you going to get out of that sales professional or that employee 50 years from now, not a year, not 6 months from now, not 2 years from now. Like, what are you going to get out of them 50 years from now? There's a reason why people jump jobs every 2.5 years. They get in, they grind. I mean, in the industry that I work in, the millennial generation, which I'm a part of, the average job tenure is like 3 years. I think Gen Z is like a year and a half.
Gen Z doesn't want to work anymore. I mean,
they don't,
say, look, I'll do my own shit. I'm going to do the YouTube, the influencer, whatever I can do. I don't want a corporate job. Even now in today's society, is these Gen Z is like, okay, I want to do a job that I like. I don't want to do just because I need a job.
Right.
They're not going to take a job because, you know, if you don't pay them what they want and they don't have a job that they want to do, they won't do it. They just won't. It's not the same as before where, oh, you know, you got out of college, you have to get a job and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's like,
they have other options, you know, like whatever they want to do that gets them up in the morning. Now, for them, they probably need some lessons in sharpening the saw just for their own personal benefit, but they also need a culture. Like that's also solves the other side of this whole entire thing. And freelancers are great. Like I'm all about the whole freelance, you know, movement, but freelancers don't have a culture. Like there's always a trade-off, right? You either go check your culture at the door or you check your values at the door when you go into a corporation, or
you don't want to be a cog in a wheel either, because, you know, freelancer is great, but you have to be part of something that is you enjoy.
Exactly.
I mean,
you got to be a part of a culture. You
have to be able to talk. I mean, the same principle I told you before. If you are very successful, right, quote unquote successful, whatever that is, you make $1 billion, but you can't tell anyone. Can't tell a single soul.
Yeah,
what does that mean to you? It means nothing. That's the thing is, having you know, the gig economy and doing things you want to do is great, but culture is important because that brings you joy. It brings you meaning, because you need to be able to tell people that you did something great, because you know,
and you need to be able to collaborate with other people and to build up your meaningful work together. You know, I mean, like that's a part of humanity.
You're human. You have the gene that is forcing you to do that. If you don't do that, you're going against the grain, and it's gonna make you have a miserable existence. You either have a joyful existence or a very pitiful existence. It's up to you. To me, that's the part where we call meaningful. Meaningful means, hey, you know, I'm part of something that matters to me. It's different for different people because that's your makeup. That's your genetic makeup. That's fine. Just find the things that we're talking about. The beaver must dam. If a beaver is able to dam and gets to do that on a daily basis over and over again, he's happy. He enjoys doing whatever. And so that's the thing. You are made a certain way, and whatever your genetic combinations forces you to do something, you have to fulfill that force or that promise. If you fulfill that promise, you will find peace and find joy in that thing. Whether you're like a writer must write, a painter must paint, a beaver must dam. It's just that same saying over and over. It's not very complex to understand. It's just hard to implement because it's so simple.
People are always looking. You can't just do what you want.
You can't do whatever you want.
Like, you have to eat.
Right?
You know,
you gotta suck it up. You gotta
embrace the suck. You know,
right?
Yeah, I get it. Like this whole reflection. That was my life beforehand. That was what I used to teach my team as a sales manager. None of
us exempt from this. We are guilty of doing that, and you know, it's not like we didn't do it. We did.
But we're trying to fix it. We're trying to change it. We're trying to build our own culture. You and I
probably did it more than the average, because I mean, I wrecked my health for saying that when I grew up, I adhered so much to it that I was really good at it. I was really good at embracing the suck, and I'm paying for it now, and I regret it so much. And that's what I'm saying is, you don't have to. You don't have to embrace the suck. It's the result you want. At the end of the day, if you need to chop down the trees, right? You can either chop it down with a rusty saw or whatever. It's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get it done. Or you can work it a small way and still get the result even better and still enjoy the work. You can have your cake.
Yeah. And that's why I call eat the frog, eat the cake. Adding on to that, don't cut down a tree if that tree doesn't have any meaning to you either, because you have to have meaning of cutting down that tree for it to be able to sustain it for a long term as well. Like not just sharpening the saw, but like you know, not just being able to produce the PPC balance, the production capabilities that come out of cutting down. A part of the production that needs to come into sharpening the saw is you have to have meaning and purpose to what you do as well. Right. So like if cutting down trees is not your jam, like for whatever reason that doesn't align to your values or your purpose or your mission, then don't do it. Like, you know, it's not.
The thing is, what people say about you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? That, like I said, I don't understand where this saying came from. It's just how do you say, okay, yeah, that makes sense, I'm gonna do it. Could not expect the best of both worlds. Just can't. Right.
Yeah, I can't actually have work that matters to me and also be physically healthy and sustainable.
It's like people paying me to have fun. It's like, right. Well, you look at the football players. Are they having fun? Are they getting paid?
Some of them hate it. Like, I mean,
well, like it's up to them. It's up to them, right? I'm just saying, and not everybody is, but there are example of people who has best of both. Meaning, yeah, you are paying me to do nothing. You are paying me to do things I like. You are paying me
to do things.
I have to suffer. It's always about this mentally. The mental concept of trading, right? Yeah. You gotta sacrifice something to trade for something. It's a mercenary. Where does that came from? It's just like, well, you take one like observations of the trading concept and you extrapolate to everything. To me, this is where it gets so like conditions into your head that this is the way the world works.
What's the principle at the core? I mean, I talk about this in the 7 Habits as well. Like, what's at your center? You know, what are you doing this stuff for? And if it's for money and profits and growth, like, I mean, then you're just a mercenary at that point in time. I mean, like, and in mercenary culture, that's embrace the suck, like, because you got to do whatever you got to do to get that money.
In the mercenary culture, when you still can have fun, I mean, pick the things you like to do and get paid for it.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
I'm just saying it. So the takeaway that I want people to understand, if you can understand what I'm trying to say, is don't try to apply every single concept across the board. For example, no pain, no gain only applies to your muscles and some similar things, not everything. Because if you have some pain in a certain area, like if I give you radiations or I give you poisons, right? Eventually your body's going to break down. It's not going to get better, right? And so the no pain, no gain is only applied to some aspect and not everything.
You can grow from pain, but it needs to be.
But point, it isn't universal. It isn't applicable across the board. The point I want to make is please don't try to apply that and assume that it applies to you just because it is say in that way, right? Just like we talking about the maps yesterday, right? The maps. Everybody assumed that you have the same map as I do. If you assume that, hey, you have the same map, then most of us, chances are we're wrong. 99.99% we're wrong when we make an assumption. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah, right? It's the same thing with what we do here. If I exercise and I have some soreness maybe, and my muscles gaining, well, the thing is, in reality, it has multiple things, right? You have to have the breakdown of the muscle, and you have to be able to replace it with the protein and the macronutrients. Imagine if you break down the muscle, but there's no protein that you intake to rebuild that, your muscle is going to go away. I guarantee you. So the thing is, even for the muscle aspect of it, it doesn't work. There's multiple variables that goes into building muscles, which what I tell you, if you break down the muscle, that muscle is gone. The reason why it builds up is because you have enough protein, and the muscle will say, well, because you are exhausting, you are going closer to your maximum capacity. When I rebuild the next time, I'm going to build it better, right? Your body say, I have the protein now. I'm going to rebuild the muscle that I lost, but I build better because I know the body is needing extra strength because you almost at your limit. So that's the muscle concept where you say no pain, no gain, right? That's where it applies. But in many other things it doesn't apply. Just like you just said in your reflection before Amelia came to your life, it's no pain, no gain, embrace the suck, do the thing you hate first and whatever. All these saying, it's completely taken out from one observation to another context.
I mean, I'll challenge that a little bit. I certainly have pains in my life. I certainly challenge myself and push myself. It's just that I want to do that because it gives me energy, because I'm doing the stuff that I like to do.
I'm not, like I say, I'm not saying that it doesn't.
Don't no pain, no gain for stuff that you don't care about. So
I'm just saying
it
applies to certain situations. And so
right.
Make sure the situation you apply to, it actually applies to it and not some other place. I'm not saying that no pain, no gain doesn't work. I say it is only for certain types.
No, I agree.
Same thing for you is when you have certain pain, when you put yourself in that, you grew because of whatever, and that's fine. Only if it works for you, great. It's not going to take that thing and go into another setting somewhere. It may not be the same environment, same variables. And that's my point, is the caution for anyone listening is you have to make sure that you're looking at the right map.
I agree. I was just layering in on top of that of the meaning side of it and the purpose side of everything. It's okay to strive for more when it aligns to meaningful work and meaningful relationships, because then it brings the energy. The general concept of what you're talking about usually applies to people embracing the suck and no pain, no gain on that side of everything, right? Like if that's your mindset and you're doing things that you don't like and you're just doing it because you're like, well, I got to put myself through pain to get to whatever you want to go get to.
Right. So for me, what I'm saying is, whatever you do, right? I don't care if you like the pain, right? You like to embrace the suck, right? Do it because it works for you and you enjoy it. I don't care what it is.
Exactly.
That's the thing I say.
Right.
If you like the pain and you can sustain it and you enjoy it, right? And it works for you, don't stop. I'm not telling you to stop. I'm saying if you hate what you do, then you need
to stop it. Yes, that we are in 1,000% agreement on. I want to make sure I give one caveat because we're probably about out of time right now. I know we're talking about sharpening the saw and I keep coughing a little bit. This is the first time I've been sick in I don't even know. I can't even remember the last time I was sick, but it's freaking COVID. So it was not my fault. I actually don't feel that bad. I just have this tiny little cough that keeps popping up. So we're talking about sharpening the saw and not getting sick and all that other stuff. And I'm saying that as I'm sick right now, but COVID trumps some of the stuff, but that did not mean that it stopped me from living my values every single day and living for my daughter. So that's what was really important. So I just wanted to make sure I called that out because it is kind of ironic. We're talking about taking care of yourself and staying healthy. And I'm going like on the other end over here. I just wanted to throw that caveat out there. But beyond that though, any final thoughts from you on this one?
So for me, I think, kind of summarize up the book. And the book is giving you these principles and concepts, and I think they're really powerful, but it can be easily dismissed as, that's fine. But the thing is, I guarantee you these principles, if you apply, it is very powerful. Just because you're talking about sharpening the saw, being a healthy, right? COVID, you can minimize the effect of COVID. You can minimize a lot of other stuff, right? And so it's one of those things where it's on the fence, right? Some people can take this concept and say, because it's so simple that, I can easily dismiss it. I don't know it's going to be effective to me, but only until you really try to live it and understand it, then you realize that this is more powerful than it seems at first.
Yeah. I mean, Amelia's biggest lesson that she taught me was the ability of human ability to endure. Sharpening this every single day has allowed me to endure through a whole lot over the past couple years, as well as I don't even know to come in the rest of my life, but I know how powerful it is to allow me to try to make sure that I show up every single day to, like we talked about with Sundays with Maury or Tuesdays with Maury. You can't have your perfect day if you're sick, pissed off, panicked, emotions running high all over the place, running around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to chase stuff that you don't really care about. Like if you're not taking care of yourself, like you're screwed from the beginning. You have no chance of finding that meaningful work and finding those meaningful relationships in life, because you're going to be dragging ass. I mean, you're going to be slowly but surely going down a downward spiral where you find yourself in the reverse compound effect and taking action, and who knows where that'll lead. So keep yourself healthy. keep your mind healthy.
Yeah, I mean,
keep
at
your
the
body
end of the
healthy,
day, it's
and,
it's
yeah,
about, doing what you think you deserve. I mean, if you
right.
think you deserve to suck, then go ahead.
All I know is what I feel good about every single day, and it makes me want to smile, and what you feel good about every single day makes you want to get up and keep doing what you're doing. So I can tell you that I feel way different now than I did, the other
I
way.
mean, for me, I deserve to enjoy my life and to have a joyful moments, and do things I enjoy. I think I deserve it, and I'm gonna look for it. If you don't think you have it, that's fine. It's up to you, right? That's how you make up your mind.
So the question we can leave everybody with is, what unsustainable areas of your life have you been living at the extremes that could benefit from a shift to a little bit of a daily balance, and, sharpening the saw every single day? Something to think about, and put your comments below or reach out to us, and happy to talk about it further.
About part 4 tomorrow.
Yep. Part 4 coming up tomorrow.
But with that, we will be good night.